and welcome to this kind of special podcast that I kind of wanted to record. It's a weird one. It's not, it fits the bill of me recording lots of wrestling podcasts on the Gallus Podcast main just because I need somewhere to voice opinions, and especially opinions that people I know don't particularly care about. And one of the main things people I know don't particularly care about is New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I'm going to talk for, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes about New Japan. I'm going to talk to you about what I, Ryan Robertson, the host and showrunner of this podcast, just to get that in there at the start, welcome, think New Japan Pro Wrestling needs to do in 2026 in the post... I've got a little fidget toy, it'll make an annoying noise every now and again, apologies folks. I had it on all the top 10s that you'll have heard, because I'm recording this in the office at work. Beautiful place to sit down and do some recording, by the way. Got 3 monitors, got my laptop, got the microphone, got the notepad, got the phone, got all the kind of information that I'm not going to use and purely go on opinion for this. I am kind of half joking with you. I didn't put any thought into this, I'm just going to riff. Riff thoughts that I had when I watched Wrestle Kingdom. I didn't catch New Year's Dash, but New Year's Dash seemed like it was absolutely great and setting up a lot of good things for the future of New Japan. I'm beating around the bush for literally a minute 30. Hiroshi Tanahashi retired. New Japan is losing, more than likely, Evil and Sanada this year. Over the past 4 years, they've lost everyone from Jay White to Ospreay to Okada to Naito. They've lost these huge names, Ibushi even. And they've just kind of been left with the new generation that they have yet to properly push in a decent way, but that seems to be having to change, basically. So how would I book New Japan this year? So the Bullet Club, first of all, is dead. Yep. We're just going to get out of the bush and say Bullet Club is dead. I will argue it will return in about a year to maybe 2 years' time. But for this year, it's gotta die. And it's gotta stay dead. Okay, that's part one. When it comes to contracts are a weird one. You've got people like Clark Connors, David Finlay, and Drilla Moloney, whose contracts, and Gabe Kidd, man. Gabe Kidd is almost definitely AEW bound. I think you've lost him. David Finlay, very high chance he's WWE bound. I think you've lost him. Clark Connors almost definitely wants to go with his wife Tekla to AEW, and he's got that connection there with the Forbidden Door stuff. Drilla Moloney, you want to do pretty much everything in your power to keep Drilla Moloney New Japan Pro Wrestling, because he is money for you as a kind of Gaijin heel. If you cannot keep Drilla Moloney and you lose Drilla, well, first of all, then who in Unbound Company? So what Unbound Company would then just be Ishimori and Ishimori and Robbie and the Knockout Brothers, right? On top of the unaffiliated ranks. Interesting. Yeah, just fight for your fucking asses off to keep Drilla Moloney. But I'm not going to book him in too much, because I think you've probably lost him to AEW. Ian Connors can go and be their tag team over there with Gabe Kidd. Just do the War Dogs in AEW, have them feud with the Bang Bang Gang. Writes itself. So fuck it. Drilla, if you're about, you are massively in plans as a heavyweight and a title contender, and you'd probably get a global title run. But if you're not, then that's a shame. The War Dragons were literally everything in World Tag League. So this booking arches around Yota Tsuji. I'll talk you through each of the championships to kind of kick us off, and then some character arcs. Yota Tsuji is and has to be your answer to the face of the company. You no longer have a face of the company. What the face of the company right now is Goto, Zack, Ishii. It's not a good place to be in. So you're going to spend this year making Yota Tsuji And you're going to use him to make a bunch of other people as well. Get a very nice bottle of water here, folks. It's going down a treat. And some of the folks you are going to do... So right, Yota Tsuji, IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He said that belt is for the people who are in Japan. Perfect. And the global title is for those who aren't always in Japan. Perfect. He's going to defend them separately. I think maybe 1 or 2 big matches when he defends them together would be monumental. Here's a kind of rough fantasy booking, right? So Yota Tsuji holds the IWGP Championship, the 87th one. He's brought back the pretty belt. He's got to hold that the entire year, in my head. There's no one on the roster that I want to see beat him anytime soon. I'm scrolling through the roster now, nah, so screw it. Have Yota Tsuji. He's got this feud with Jake Lee. Cool. Yota Tsuji beats Jake Lee. Nice and easy. You've got Andrade and Gabe Kidd fighting over who gets a shot at the global. That's got Andrade win written all over it. Run Andrade Tsuji. Beautiful first time match. They've both got kind of CMLL links. Tsuji can keep his global title. Even though knowing New Japan, they'd probably just put the belt on Andrade, but you don't want to do that. Not yet. Aaron Wolf, he's a big name that you've got, and he's your never openweight champion. He's got to be defending that title successfully against Ren Narita and ideally getting away from House of Torture. Doki, he's your junior champ. Not for long, no. Despy, he should take that at the New Beginning shows. Take it, and Despy is going to hold it through Best of the Super Juniors. The Strong Division. Yeah, those belts are disappearing this year, aren't they? El Phantasmo in the TV title. I'll come up with something for you. Okay, so in terms of factions, right, you go onto their website, you've got Hontai, House of Torture, TMDK, United Empire, and soon-to-be Unbound Company. TMDK, do not touch a thing. Zack Sabre Jr., Roy Ewa, Fujita, Harley Jackson, Robbie Eagles, and the other 3 who are not really ever there. Fucking perfect. The House of Torture, if they're losing Evil and Sonada, you've got to put all your eggs in Ren Narita, right? Let Ren Narita run that faction. I think that's what I'm going to go with. Let Ren Narita run House of Torture. Hontai, you got to do something. The entire bloody roster's in there. Hontai et Chaos. Right, so we've got some beef between Taishi, Ishii, Omino, and Uemura at the moment. So that they're on 2 sides of Hontai. Ishii and Taichi, they should stay. Hontai should be the old boys, right? Yeah, Hontai can be the old boys, and we'll put in a kind of new group that they're going to make. Umino, Uemura, Wato, maybe Oleg, Aaron Wolf. Just put all the new lads. Keep Despy and ELP in the kind of old... Oh no, bring in ELP. ELP could be your leader. There you go. There's my factions. So I'm splitting... Basically, all the folk that were in Chaos are sticking together in Hontai now. And all the folk that weren't, Uemura. I'll just list all the names that are moving. Uemura, you're moving away. Umino, you're moving away. Wato and Taguchi, you're coming over as a bit of an experienced player. ELP, Oleg, and Wolf. And that is going to be this new faction, of which is basically just going to be you are meat for Tsuji. They will go up against Unbound Company. Tsuji, he's going to have big matches after he retains his championship with Uemura. He's going to be your next challenger. And you know what? Tsuji's going to defend both belts against Uemura. Can you see what I'm going for here? You'll have the New Japan Cup. And if you look up and down the roster for a kind of New Japan Cup winner, it's an interesting pick I'm going to go for. But the name I'm going to give you for the New Japan Cup, hear me out, Callum Newman. You then are going to run a huge match, Tsuji versus Newman, at the anniversary show, of which Tsuji is going to win, retaining the IWGP title. Those two are then going to have another match on which the Empire are going to definitively turn heel, and Callum Newman is going to be the man to dethrone him for the global title. So that when we do the Callum Newman Will Ospreay program, the global title is in the picture, and that's just elevating ideally both Newman and the global title, because he's now had 2 big matches with Tsuji, and he's even got a win over Tsuji. I'd add someone from Hontai probably into the Empire. I'd give him a young lion. Maybe Zenji. Maybe I'd send Zenji into the Empire. Maybe Shoma Kato. Okay, I'd like to revisit Shoma Kato as being Empire destined. So, Callum Newman spins off, global title feud, very nice. Despi's our junior champion, Fujita, is going to win Best of the Super Juniors again, and then Fujita is going to beat Desperado, as Fujita is going to run the year as our junior champion. Tsuji's IWGP Championship will then see himself getting into a bit of beef. Little bit of beef with Shota Umino. And you run Tsuji Umino, with of course Tsuji picking up the win. So that's him bet 3 of the future. Ideally elevating them in the process and him. I would then run a kind of legacy match. I would run a kind of Tai Chi's last chance storyline. Similarly to Goto, but I would give a big, just before the G1, Tai Chi match. And I would have, of course, Tsuji retain. Coming out of the G1, I am looking at the roster, and I'm struggling to see a clear winner for the G1. Like, I would have the G1 winner go back to challenging at next year's Wrestle Kingdom for a start. I'm looking up and down this roster. There is no name to go all in with, because I know my program, I'm going to put Tsuji in. It's like, can they rehabilitate Shota Umino? Because that's one of the big things they've got to figure out how to do, is rehabilitate Shota Umino's career. In the G1, I would have Shingo Takagi pick up a huge win over Tsuji, and you can allow that to be a match that happens, kind of faction mate versus faction mate. I'm looking at this fucking roster, and Uemura might be the man for the G1. So we might say Uemura takes the G1, and we can run Tsuji Uemura in the kind of rematch from many years ago at Wrestle Kingdom. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll go for Uemura winning the G1, beating Zack in the finals. Probably Callum Newman in the semis, and Zack beats Tsuji. Yota Tsuji then is going to spend most of the time from here to then feuding with the leader of the faction. Uemura is in Desperado. Got it wrong. Phantasmo, the other L. So he's going to feud with El Phantasmo in the main event scene. I think that's a solid run. Still champion, heading into Wrestle Kingdom, Yota Tsuji versus Yuya Uemura is your main event. And I'd have Tsuji go over. And in the following year, I would run Bolton Oleg, Aaron Wolf, Callum Newman, and the man from the roster that I would have dethrone Yota Tsuji. Kinda New Japan Cup next year. So in the tag division for this year, not the Knockout Brothers, Yuto Ice and Oscar, are going to run dominant for as much of the year as they can get away with. Every team just falls, and they do what they've been doing, putting on the most 4-star, 4.5-star matches with everybody. Maccabee and Homla get a legacy shot at some point, and they beat them. Kojima and Tenzan beat them. The West Coast Wrecking Crew come over for a cup of coffee. They beat them. World Tag League sees Lance Archer and Brian Cage have a crack, and they fall. I want more kind of Don Callis fan. I want Takeshita, Archer, Rocky, and Brian Cage. I want them to do a tour where those 4 just are on every show as a unit. The Knockout Brothers destroy all these units before maybe their foil is kind of Hinari and the Great Okan. Boost the Empire up with gold in that sense. ELP in the TV title, I could see him dropping it to someone like a Desperado, dropping it to a junior for I believe the first time, letting him run wild. Robbie X, I want very featured in the junior division. Big title match with Fujita at some point this year. But the man that I would have to go on to beat Tsuji is Yuto Ice of the Knockout Brothers. That promo he cut on New Year Dash is one of 2 things I watched, and holy shit fuck, was it fire. The Trios belts can do whatever the fuck they want. They can go from TMDK to the Empire to Unbound Company. Basically, I think, see if every faction, the 3 guys that aren't going to get anything bigger, just get a little run as the champions this year. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? It's nice to do nice things for nice people. Like Yoshihashi and Yo, and I don't know, Taka. You got the title run. The women's division, just more featured, please. Simple. And Aaron Wolf's never title. Well, that's got matches with Bolton Oleg, Ishii, Taichi written all over it. And who would I have to take the belt from him? Oh, I cannot wait to see Hinari versus that man. Maybe I just say Hinari. Nah, I've got him in the tag division. Can't say that. Shingo could be a shout. Yeah, I think Shingo's my top contender for the man to take the belt from Aaron Wolf. Francesco Akira and Kozush Futisha, by the way, is the main of Best of the Super Juniors, and they will be forever feuding throughout the entire year. I hope that's like a decent spread of absolute bullshit predictions for what New Japan could do with a year. I mean, it's New Japan, so it won't. It'll just do the most bizarre, insane shit it can conceptualise. And we kind of love New Japan for that. But yeah, I think there's a lot of big changes coming. A lot of big changes coming this year. Enjoy the rest of your days, folks. It's an absolute joy. It's the most effort I could put into saying enjoy your day, apparently. Yeah, I've got a game of work and I'll get some editing to do and just chill in the night, you know. It's a good night for doing fuck all. I'm going to crack out in 2 days. Oh no. Catches.